the heart of the village. In a small, quiet village nestled between rolling hills and vast fields of green, lived a hard-working farmer named Ervind and his devoted wife, Mira. Their life was simple but fulfilling. The village was peaceful, surrounded by nature's beauty, where the hustle and bustle of the world seemed far away. Here, everyone knew everyone, and the bond between the villagers was as strong as the earth beneath their feet. Ervind was a man of great strength and character, both physically and in spirit. He was the kind of person who believed that the land could teach him the most valuable lessons of life. Every morning before dawn, he would rise from his humble bed, his hands calloused and weathered from years of hard work. He would drink a simple cup of tea made by his wife, Mira, before setting off to work in the fields. The sound of birds chirping and the fresh morning breeze were his companions as he plowed the land, sowed seeds, and tended to the crops that would feed the village. Mira, on the other hand, was the heart of their home. While Ervind worked in the fields, she took care of everything at home, from preparing meals to managing the household chores. She was a woman of patience, warmth, and intelligence. Although her days were just as long as her husband's, she never complained. She knew that their work was a labor of love, and every task she undertook was done with a sense of purpose and care. One day, as the harvest season approached, a sudden storm hit the village. The dark clouds gathered ominously, and the winds howled fiercely. Ervind had been working in the fields when the storm arrived, and he quickly tried to gather his tools and shelter in the barn. But the wind was too strong, and the rain fell in torrents, turning the earth into a muddy mess. Mira, who had been inside preparing the evening meal, noticed the storm from the window. Her heart sank as she saw the fury of the weather. She knew that this storm could ruin the crops, and she couldn't bear the thought of all their hard work being destroyed. She rushed out into the storm, calling for Ervind. "Ervind, come back to the house. It's dangerous out here," she shouted, her voice barely audible over the roar of the wind. Ervind, struggling against the storm, turned to see his wife running toward him, her hair soaked and her clothes drenched. Despite the harsh conditions, he smiled, relieved to see her. "I'll be all right, Mira," he said, his voice steady despite the chaos around him. "But we need to get the crops covered. The storm will destroy them if we don't act quickly." Without a second thought, Mira grabbed a large tarpaulin from the barn, and together, they worked through the storm. They managed to cover the most vulnerable parts of their crops, and as the storm raged on, they stayed by their fields, working in the rain, the wind howling around them. Hours passed, and the storm finally began to subside. The sky, though still overcast, seemed